I have your attention, please. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Kryptonite Show. We have got a fun show today. We're going to be covering tons of stuff. Honestly, it's going to be absolutely great. We got the markets are pumping, Bitcoin record highs. It is going to be glorious, and we're just getting warmed up for the cycle. Woo! Let's go, let's go, let's go. We're going to have a great time today. We're going to drop a few little insights here and there as well. Hope you guys enjoy the show, and don't forget to get in the chat there as well and make it lively. Now, the first thing you can do, of course, is share the show on X. We're obviously streaming on YouTube and X. In fact, 3 YouTube channels on YouTube and, of course, on X. So get out there and, smash the subscribe button on YouTube, smash the follow button on X, and, of course, share it around. That is the best thing you can do. So get out there, folks. Smash a like as well while you're at it. We got Hex Vader in the house there. Hey. Good to see Hex Vader. Hope you're doing well. Big shout out there. And, of course, we got Fat Sammy in the house. Hey, Fat Sammy, great to see you. Woohoo! We got Fat Sammy in the house there. And, of course, get into the chat, everybody, as well. And don't forget to share it around. Share it around. We're going to have a good time today. Now, I'm just going to quick look through my post yesterday just to see what's going on. We're going to probably jump through that. Yeah, let's get into it. I'm just having a look here through. Yeah, okay, cool. We're going to get straight into the stock market today. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. And then we're going to get on to crypto pretty fast and talk about a lot of bullish things and some of the crypto news out there too. We're going to cover that too. So we got Q Baller in the house there. Morning all. Good to see you, Q Baller. Woohoo! All right, I'm excited. Are you guys excited? Man, you should be. We got a beautiful pump, pretty much Bitcoin breaking out. It's going to be pretty exciting as well moving ahead. All right, let's get into it. Without further ado, we got the stock market at the moment, and the NASDAQ notches closing record. And of course, as NVIDIA hits $4 trillion, woo, $4 trillion, the most valuable company in the world. Of course, that's even bigger than the market cap of crypto. So there we go, $4 trillion. But it won't be in the future. It will not be in the future. Obviously, NVIDIA is going to be incredibly valuable as we move forward because of the fourth industrial revolution of intelligence. And of course, we're going to have some freaky stuff. Honestly, I don't think people are quite ready yet for the convergence of AI chips, AI software, robotics, and of course battery power. I think that convergence is going to shock people, and it's going to shock me. I'm saying it, but it's still going to shock me. Imagine having robots walking around the streets, and you know what the left progressives are going to try and do, right? Make them a whole species, and that they've got to have rights and all this sort of nonsense. You know it's coming. These are pretty warped, pretty psychos, but it's going to be crazy. Just from the technological point of view, it's going to be pretty mind-boggling. And of course, before we get into all that, we know Elon Musk, of course, wants to go to Mars and land there in early 27. And of course, you can imagine he's going to have his Optimus Prime robots pretty much running around, right? His Optimus robots. And of course, they're going to be there. And it's going to be a whole. Not only are they going to be running around Earth, they're going to be running around Mars. I mean, there is a pretty scary little, scenario there. Where they go rogue, right? Where they go rogue. So that's going to be pretty crazy. Imagine Optimus robots going rogue on Earth and rogue on Mars. Oh my God. We'll be really in a big movie then, but unfortunately, it will be a bit of whip ass. So yeah, pretty crazy stuff if you think about like that. So yeah, I don't know. The next generations are going to have some interesting times. Let's say that's an interesting time. Great work, Suitman. Market looking good, says Trev. Absolutely is, Trev. And thanks very much for the nice compliment there. We got Tin Top in the house as well. What's up, Hexkins? Good to see you, Tin Top. And welcome to the chat as also. Anyway, I better stop digressing with the old robot domination. But we got Dow Jones is up 0.5% at the moment, 217 points to 44,458. We got the S&P 500 up 0.6%, 38 points to 6,263. And the NASDAQ with all the tech companies in it is up 1%. At 192 points at 20,611. Pretty amazing, right? We are at record. We're witnessing history. This is pretty amazing. Let's go to the Dow Jones and have a look at the chart. And we'll look at the chart over the last 5 years, let's say. And we can see that's pretty much pretty close to the all-time high. Not quite there yet, but we're getting there pretty close. I think it was 45 something. And so we're getting pretty close to it. We've got the S&P 500 is clearly at record highs now, just off the top at the moment. And of course, the NASDAQ there is definitely at all-time highs. So NASDAQ there pushing higher with NVIDIA, and of course, AI chips, right? Good old Blackwell chip they launched last year. And of course, that race is just going on, right? We see massive construction in the United States right now with a number of AI warehouses being set up. I mean, these are expensive. And of course, we know that Trump has managed to raise well over $15 trillion now, almost at record levels for the investment in the fourth industrial age in the United States. I mean, this is where we're heading, folks. The fourth industrial age over the period of Trump, and therefore the golden age of America as well. It is going to be pretty mind-blowing. People are just not ready for it yet, but we see already many companies announcing construction since the One Big Beautiful Bill, because of the 100% expensing in the first year. It's going to be, we're expecting hundreds of more companies to do lots of announcements coming up. And of course, the US is going to go into a super boom. It's going to be pretty crazy. Keep a lookout for that. US dollar is continuing to devalue, sitting at 97. And of course, I think it's been as low as 96 recently. Versus the trading partners, of course, the Trump was also going to pretty much punish the BRIC countries. Right, so these are the Brazil, India, China, and that, of course, relatively speaking, with tariffs to punish them for trying to undermine the U.S. reserve currency. And I can tell you that from my point of view, we don't want the U.S. to lose a reserve currency status because a lot of those countries in that group, are a communist, authoritarian, and we don't want that. We don't want that. So that is the play there. And we got West Texas oil at the moment, $68, and Brent oil just under $70, both down about 0.4% there. So that's down as well. Looking at the last 5 years, we were up on West Texas back in May 2022. We were up at $118 or so. Yeah, something like that, $118. And now we're down at $68. So it's pretty cool. But probably more importantly, since the Trump's been in, and we've got the time frame here since he's been in on the 20th, we had the price at $76. We're now at 68. So we're down, what's that, down $8 since Trump came in. And it hasn't even been further. It hasn't even been lower. It's been down at $58. So that would have been a $10 lower price. But of course, at the pump in the United States, we are seeing the oil price, the petrol price come down. And this is particularly important given the summer season that Americans are currently in at the moment. So very, very cool there. Trump hashtag winning. We got gold prices at the moment is at 3,326. That is up slightly, and silver there is down slightly, 0.1%, $36.60. But we are expecting commodities to rally. We're expecting oil prices to be kept down, and we're expecting gold and silver and other products to keep rising. Now, at the moment, we've had gold rising against silver for the large part, but of course, we're expecting silver to really rally. Why is that? Well, tie it back into NVIDIA and much of the modern age. We're expecting silver is going to be in huge demand, and therefore will rally relative to gold because of the use in modern technology, right? So we're expecting a big boom there. So that's kind of the play there. NVIDIA jumps to reach 4 trillion. Pretty exciting. There's a historic moment for NVIDIA. The tech space flexing its muscles and speaks to the AI revolution, hitting its next stage of growth, led by one chip fueling AI, NVIDIA. So that is pretty exciting. We're also, obviously, the Fed minutes signal cuts still on the table for this year, but divisions on next chapter appear. Now, as you guys know, the Federal Reserve is relatively independent. Its mandate set by the Congress, and that is pretty much around inflation and full employment. So we will see how they go. Obviously, I consider that they've been doing massive politicking on behalf of the Democrats. The Federal Reserve is supposed to be independent, but the whole thing's riddled with Democrats and deep state. So it's a big problem. And Jerome Powell, of course, not really a monetary expert, is playing games there as well. So hopefully we're going to get some common sense here, because it is costing the Americans a lot of money because the rates are ridiculously high. Reserve banks around the world have been lowering their interest rates, and Jerome Powell, because Trump's in power and wants to try and damage as much as he can. It's one of the last things that the Democrats have to damage Trump at the moment. They're failing in the courts, right? If Trump's getting victory after victory at the Supreme Court. And so this is one of the easiest places. The only place they're really going to have left after that is the deep state itself, so which Trump's trying to shrink as well. So we're going to see some interesting games there. Hey, look, what's punishing Americans from the Democrats to get power? No, it's no problem at all. We got Fed's patience approach, so we're going to see how that goes. We are still expecting 2 rate cuts, but of course, Jerome Powell is probably going to be, he's expected to go in May next year anyway, but they're probably going to try and roll him before that, is my guess. And of course, there's going to be new opening appointments, right? So there's 12 federal banks in America, reserve banks, across all those 12 different districts, and that's based on a lot of historical sort of economic setup in the United States. And we're expecting some rolling of some of those positions, and of course, put more Trump appointees in, right? So yeah, serious contenders will be coming in. Kevin Warsh, and of course, that is probably going to be one of the preferred picks there. But of course, we've also got Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent doing an incredible job with the 3-legged stool strategy, which we've been following very closely. And of course, he would also probably be a contender in there as well. I'm not sure; it just may depend on timing, though. So that's kind of the play there. Trump also talking about tariffs on copper, and of course putting tariffs on different other countries as well, against just trying to get them over the line. So like tariffs, threatening tariffs on Japan, on South Korea, still pressuring the European Union to get things done there. So that is kind of the play there. That's gonna play out the rest of July, right, through to the 1st of August. And that pressure is going to come on them, and hopefully we'll get all those deals done with the top 10 countries in the world. The market will love that, and of course, all will be forgiven for Trump's volatility with his use of his leverage of tariffs. So that's kind of the play there. And the World Trade Order will be reorganized, and it will be for the good, right? So finally, I've been waiting for this for a good 25, 30 years. And it's great to see Trump come in and do this, because honestly, I used to scream at the TV looking at the liberal economists and now progressive economists just tell absolute nonsense. And of course, you remember the story. Oh, America's in decline. We're going to manage decline. It's like, oh, you idiots, you idiots. And of course, America was so powerful, you could easily have increased its growth rate and all the rest of it. But no, they were, destroying America's no problem to the Democrats. And so now we've got Trump, last man standing in the West, right? Last man standing. And of course, turning things around. I'm so happy about this. I'm not even American. So there we go. But I live in the land of reality, and reality is determined sometimes by idiots. And so we're going to try and get it back to common sense, right? It's common sense there. All right, so let's jump away from that. We've obviously got crypto, so we're going to talk about that. Let's go full screen because we're having such a good time. Here. We got Tintot says, all hail our robot overlords. Yeah. Honestly, imagine having a whole ton of bots. I mean, these bots are going to be better than the bots we've got today, right? Imagine them, because it's accelerating really fast. Imagine robots walking down the street and stuff like that, and then turning around talking to you. Hey, how's it going? I don't know if you've seen that. Have you seen that horror movie with the girl? I can't remember the name of it, but it's like a female robot, and she tricks this guy into liking it, and then kills her own master, who was a bit of a narcissist anyway. But and then leaves the other guy in a locked up prison room, which I thought was pretty nasty. So I don't know if you've seen that movie, but hopefully we don't have things like that. But we might have some 14-year-old programmer in I don't know, some country program these robots to do bad things. Who knows? Marco's in the house there. Bean buying PulseX and PHEX on the dip. Nice one, Marco. Smart move. Shin's in the house there. Yo. Good to see you, Shin. Big shout out. And of course, let's get into full screen. I disappeared. What happened? That's because I chose the wrong screen. Yeah. There we are. That's it. All right. Too many studio screens here. All right. So let's get into it. We've got the market cap at 3.53 trillion. Remember, Nvidia just hit 4 trillion. Nvidia is more valuable than all of crypto. And of course, the crypto market's still down 0.7%. But that's because it's got 17,614 different tokens in the index. Now, looking at the leaders, which is the ones we care about, Bitcoin pushing new highs at up 2.3% at $111,424. We've got Ethereum up 6.1%, up $2,778. We actually see more funds coming through the ETFs into Ethereum than Bitcoin today. Pretty amazing. And of course, XRP up 4.5% at $2.40. Number 5, I should say, is BNB up 1.4% at $670. Solana at number 6 is up 3.9%, $157. We got Tron at number 8 up 0.8% at 29 cents. We got Doge up 6.2%, up at 18 cents. And number 10, of course, is Lido, up like Ethereum at 6.2%. Kind of cool. I've got to give some honorable mentions down and below the 10, though. We've got Cardano, we've got Hyperliquid, and Hyperliquid is the one where you can do margin trading now through Pulse Wallet on PulseChain. So that's a little thing a lot of people may not know, but you can do margin trading through there, through the Pulse Wallet if you've got that downloaded. Interesting. All right, so let's jump over to the top performer over the last 24 hours is obviously Ethereum. And that is up. It's actually Dogecoin up 6.3%, Ethereum up 6.1%. So those are your two big moves over the last week. It is Ethereum. Oh no, it's XRP 7.1%, and then Ethereum up 7%. So we're starting to we want to creep into these double-digit gains, right? This is kind of where we want to head to, and particularly like 20-30%. That's kind of getting into altcoin season feel, right? We do see, I think, Bitcoin dominance. I haven't got the chart up today, but I think Bitcoin dominance has been coming down. So that is a good direction as well. So especially when you got percentage increases like 6% on Ethereum, that's definitely going to start helping. So that is the play. Looking at our top gainers in the top 1,000, we've got Altcoin, Cross, and Manu at the moment on there. This is a new section of the show. We will just have a quick look and see what's top gainers. Now, Altcoin there is at number 760. It has only been around since the 9th of July. So that's not very long at all. And it's like a day or something, and it is up pretty big there. Let's see what chain. It's on Solana and altcoin.fun. So let's have a look at that. It's altcoin season to the moon. It says to the moon. It's got a little frog riding a bike, and it looks like its own meme coin. So there we go. And that is on the move. And let's see what else is going on these top lines. We've got Cross as well, up 80%. We'll have a quick look at that. Sitting at number 735. It has been around since July the 4th. So it's only been around a few days as well. What's that? Only about a week, just under a week. And that is having a bit of a moon right now. And Cross Open Game Foundation looks like some game protocol, and it's on BSC. Open Game Foundation is a non-profit foundation based on Zug, Switzerland. They can open to the gamers' ownership, the developers' blockchain adoption, and cross-chain ecosystem. So there we go. It's got player rewards and other things like that, cross token technology, cross mainnet, cross protocol. So there we go. Looks like a bit of a blockchain gaming setup there. Could be interesting to see how that plays out. Anyway, that is up at 735. It's based out of Switzerland, was it? Which is probably given a bit of quality to it. We shall see. But that is up at 14 cents there, and that's only been around for less than a week. So that's an interesting one to look at. Finally, we've got Manu there, up 60%. Let's have a quick look at that. And that is sitting at number 924, so just making it in there. That has also been around since 5th of July, so all these three coins relatively new, making the list, and that is up, climbing up quite nicely there. It's on Ethereum this time, and of course, let's have a look at the website. What's that there? Menu there. So it looks like the most famous and peppered dog across social media, and that is on the rise at the moment, TikTok and everything else. So obviously do due diligence a lot. But that is ticking away there on the move. Everyone loves the dogs. Everyone loves the dogs. So that's on Ethereum, and that's on the move. Just launched there. So that might start to really run away. Meme coins when they just launched, but that's at number 924. Might be one interesting one to check out. Obviously, do your due diligence as always. We're not really, we're just covering it. We got Bitcoin at the moment trending, a ton coin, and Manu trending at the moment. That meme coin trending. That's pretty interesting. It's getting a lot of eyes on it, obviously, on CoinGecko. We've had Bitcoin and ton coin there from Telegram trending yesterday, right? So that's our markets today. 3.53 trillion, and Bitcoin there pushing new highs. So, and look at that Ethereum price up at $2,768. Not bad at all. That's going to bring us into the Bitcoin chart. And of course, we're going to be talking more about Bitcoin today because the title of the video is Exploring Bitcoin Options. And of course, just one Bitcoin on PulseChain. We're going to check that out as well. So hope you guys enjoy the content. All right, so covering a Bitcoin blockchain. Obviously, we've been covering the price here. We've got the yellow line is the 50 EMA. And that is $105,774. We've got the 200-day EMA in orange. That is $95,970. There's a big gap. We've got this big golden cross playing out, and we are now breaking, from the looks of it, breaking slightly up to the upside. We've definitely got a new all-time high, and the all-time high is $112,152. Previously, we back here on May 22nd. We've been pretty close to that. We had hit 112,000. So we do have a new all-time high that just closed yesterday. We're in a brand new candle. We just started a brand new candle now. So we're going to see how that goes. But this could be the big push to that next level, right? The 120, 130 level. So that's pretty exciting. Now, obviously, we reviewed the Trump strategy, the three-legged stool strategy. And of course, you can see that here, three-legged stool strategy. We had the big tax bill. That's going to unleash an unbelievable supply and demand expansion in the United States. And then, of course, we have the SEC final appeal. We had obviously defeated the SEC there. So that has gone abating as well. So it's good news for PulseChain. And then, of course, we also have all these trade letters going out. And, of course, Trump continuing to put pressure over July to get the deals done, the last deals done over the line there. And a lot of other countries will just get letters, right? Just get letters. So that's the play. And of course, we've got stablecoin crypto week coming up next week. We've got the Genius Act, the Clarity Act, and the non-CBDC Act coming next week. And of course, that's going to be very, very bullish in the market. So pushing through the big tax bill and then all these crypto bills, it's going to be pretty awesome. And of course, that's going to unleash stable coins. We could get potentially Treasury Scott Bessent talking about $2 trillion. And of course, 3.4 trillion by 2030. This could be absolutely massive. Of course, also backing U.S. Treasuries and backing the U.S. dollar, right? So a win for America, a win for crypto, and of course, a valuation of crypto could be massive, right? Absolutely massive on the back of all that. So that boom on stable coins, particularly for Circle and Tether. And Circle, of course, on the back of Ethereum, and then of course all the EVM chains and PulseChain forks could absolutely boom with that, with the capital flows flowing over indirectly, right? So that is exciting. That's coming up next week, and of course we've got our PulseChain conference run by RH Max on next week as well, and I'll be on there on the second day talking about the Monster Thread. All right, the publication from the Kryptonite Show, and of course our editor-in-chief, MVS Crypto, out there crushing it on that. Now, that is the play there on the 15th. Now, what else we got going? We've got more bullish stuff there. Now, the China deal in tariffs in mid-August, that's pretty much done because we've already got the framework for a deal. So I'm not too worried about that. And that brings us into September, of course, with the interest rate cuts. Inflation at the moment, pretty modest, around 2.4, 2.5%. We'll keep an eye on inflation, but essentially interest rate should already probably be close to 2.5, but they're not. They're up at 4.5%. We also know that the US needs to restructure something like either 7 or 11 trillion. I can't remember which one it is now off the top of my head, but that needs to be restructured. And of course, Trump trying to delay that to get interest rate cuts. And that is the biggest thing. Why is that so big? Because if you push interest rates down from 4.5 down to 2.5, all the safe assets yields are going to drop dramatically. We already see the bond rate already at 4.4%, and they already forecast that was going to be like 5-6%, but it's only 4.4% for the 10-year bond rate. And of course, we have a lower 2-year bond rate as well. And of course, last time I checked was about 3.3 or something like that. Those are all drop, right? We're going to have the rates drop. And therefore, what happens? People have to search out really high yield, right? And that really high yield has to be into stocks or crypto. And so that's a boom for stocks and crypto. And of course, may be the ultimate trigger for the altcoin season, right? We're already seeing some moves at the moment with the Bitcoin dominance, but that might be the ultimate trigger for that rate cut and really start that banana part of the curve. So, we're getting up into September there. That is a pretty good alignment also with the cycle. So we'll talk about that more in a minute. And then, of course, we're expecting more crypto regulations coming out in September, October, with the crypto report being run by the digital department in Trump's White House. And of course, we're expecting more good stuff there to support crypto, including a lot of buying, this neutral budget buying from Bitcoin. And of course, the altcoin stockpile. We're expecting them to come up with lots of cool things coming out there. It might be public-private partnerships with miners. Lots of different options will be on the table for the sovereign state of the United States to accumulate more Bitcoin and altcoins in addition to the stuff that they confiscate. That's pretty much it, right? So that is kind of the play there. It is exciting. We got the holy grail of lineups, guys. The lineup that we're getting of bullish stuff is just out of this world. It is crazy, dude. There is only one thing out there from my point of view that could be a problem, and we're going to talk about that as well because we like to be balanced as well. Now, the other thing, of course, is Trump is delivering on his peace presidency. He is making peace deals all through Africa right now. He had the five African countries today at the White House. He is making peace deals all through Africa. I mean, bringing peace to Africa is very important. Some of those battles, those wars have been vicious, utterly vicious, and he's bringing peace. And with peace comes the chance for prosperity. And of course, obviously, you've got to have good administration too, without corruption. And so that is really, really cool. We know North Africa is being plagued by Islamic extremists. And of course, they're working often with local rebellions against the state. And sometimes that is leading to carnage as well. So not only do we have these historical wars that have been running for decades between tribes, we also have this Islamic extremists as well, ravaging North Africa, of course, killing many Christians and burning churches as well. It's pretty carnage there. So Trump is trying to make world peace in North Africa. Already done incredibly well in the Middle East, obviously with the final deal to be done with Iran and Hamas. And of course, those seem to be progressing as well. The tricky one, of course, a little bit tricky, is over in Ukraine and Russia. Putin not ready to go to the table yet. And so that's going to be, probably expect to see sanctions coming there if he doesn't move to do something there. But that can be managed and isolated, despite the fact that thousands of people are dying every week. And of course, Trump, generally speaking, making world peace between Pakistan and India, world peace between Uganda and the Congo, I think it was, yeah. And of course, he's working on Sudan and other countries. So really incredible stuff going on there across the different continents in the world, making a really great place for the golden age of America and for everybody else as well. And so kind of cool. Now you got to remember, if America gets more wealthy during the golden age, then they're going to go buy more, right? They are the big consumer of the world. And so all the other countries will do better because America's doing better. If America's doing worse, then all the countries will do worse, right? Generally speaking. So it's pretty crazy. Not all the countries, but most of the countries will do worse. So that is pretty crazy. So yeah, it is pretty exciting. The holy grail of times are coming up. Let's jump over to, let me put out the only thing that's really the wild card, and that is China, right? If China decides to invade Taiwan at the moment, President Xi is losing power grip. And we see that the head of the military there, who President Xi was trying to almost push out, sideline himself, has got outplayed at this stage. And of course, he has lost his military attaché, sitting at number 3 in the Chinese military. And so we are definitely seeing some power play going over there. Now, the military guy that's taking over is very aggressive on Taiwan. And of course, that is a bit of a worry. So even more of a worry than President Xi. So we'll see how that plays out. That is the only one real big thing. Of course, it is a World War III type event because obviously, if China tries to take Taiwan, they will have to try and take Japan as well, and maybe one or two other countries as well in that mix to get that regional positioning. Given the fact that the United States would have aircraft carriers and of course its allies there as well, so that would just escalate pretty badly. Now the positive thing is that China really hasn't had a war, I think, since was it 1969 or something, 1979 I should say, and that lasted only for a little while, so hopefully they don't do anything. You got to remember, America is really incredible at war because they've been doing wars for decades, and so hopefully that power check keeps any invasion of Taiwan. And remember, Taiwan, it dominates 90% of the advanced microprocessors which are used in computers, as well as about 60-70% of mass production. And so that China would also get all the modern technology. They already control most of the rare earths in the world because it's such a dirty production process, and they have all the resources. So all the modern technology would be held by China, and they could actually throttle both Europe and the United States and the rest of the world if they so choose, if they were going for an imperialistic expansion, which may occur once they go for Taiwan. Why not go for a lot of other stuff, right? That is the play. And of course, that's something we don't want to be happening. Power through strength. And of course, Trump's trying to, hedge that in, which is pretty interesting. All right, so that's kind of the play there. Let's jump over to Bitcoin. In terms of ETFs, we have seen some good flows coming into Bitcoin, which is pretty cool. Although today we have seen Ethereum, more stuff coming through Ethereum, but we are getting good flows. You can see that here in the chart for ETF flows, up into the hundreds of millions of dollars. And of course, I suggest to you, we're probably going to see this move into the billions of dollars eventually. These candles will probably look very small in the future. So keep note of that. Currently in the hundreds of millions, we're probably going to see it in the billions these days. And every so often we see billion candles, but that's going to become the low part, I would say, of this chart. So that is good news. And let's get into some future pricing because we like to do that with Bitcoin. So this is a power curve, right? So power curve here, taking the top part of the previous bull market cycles from 2013, 2017, and 2021, and then overlaying it, projecting it out into the future for this cycle in 2025, 26. So you can see 2025 here in orange. That's the current Bitcoin price. We're up at 111, 112,000. And if we use projections from those last bull cycles, we could end up getting very quickly into October. We could end up getting to, about 120, 130, even as high if we take 2021's prediction. We could even get up to 170,000 by October, something like that. That seems quite doable. And then, of course, by the time we get into the end of the year, which is here, 26, we've got prices ranging from about $170,000 all the way up, if we take 2017's bull run, all the way up to 250,000. And as you can see at the top, if we were to have the top of 2017, we're looking at about 280, 285,000, something like that, in the by the end of 2025 there. So it's pretty exciting where we could go. So take note of that. It's going to be pretty fun there as we head time. So yeah, looking for a very bullish 6 months ahead. Or 5.5 months ahead here as we move forward. So that is pretty exciting. And of course, we did, unfortunately, despite all the bullish news about where we might go in Bitcoin, we did have a crypto hack. They lifted 42 million from GMX. Now, GMX is perpetual trading. We have our own GMX fork on PulseChain, right? And this is Arbitrum's liquidity pool in broad daylight. So they took 42 million out of the Arbitrum liquidity. So that's a bit of a worry there as well. Despite layers of security, GMX's V1 GLP protocol, a pool was hacked for over 40 million in a brazen exploit, with leverage functions now frozen. Traders are left wondering, etc. So that was a big deal there on July the 9th. So yeah, pretty crazy. I better double check our security on the old on the PulseChain version, right? All right, so that leads us into PulseChain, Pulse Gains, and we're probably going to go back to our other format there. Let's see who I got in the chat. Who else has jumped in here? We got Shin in house, yo, and we got NJ in house. PulseChain SZN loading, and we got Francia as well. Hey, Francia, hope you're doing well. Hello. Cool. Don't forget, if you're on X, don't forget to smash the follow button, and if you're on YouTube, smash the subscribe button as well, and of course share it around on X. Would be really appreciated there. We're going to come up soon. We're getting into. We're going to be talking about all the title of the video is Exploring Bitcoin Options. Just buy one Bitcoin on PulseChain. We're going to check that out. So stay tuned for that. Let me just pull up. I think I've something I'm supposed to have written up here and I haven't got it. So let me get to that. All right, we're going to pull that up, and I think where am I putting that over here? I think. I think I lost a lot of stuff there. Bam. Yeah, I think we're doing a pretty good time. All right, let's go. That was like an advertisement intermission, but let's get into the main event and get to talk about that. So here we are on a day 790. Woo! 790. We're almost at 800 days since PulseChain launches. Seems pretty crazy. We're at quadruple 0276. What do we do? We're like day. Is it day 2? Yeah, it's like day 2, almost day 2 of freedom since the SEC, right? So day 2 of freedom since the SEC. So we're now on new territory. We've no longer got the shadow of SEC over us. In fact, we're stronger than ever, right, with that victory. So kind of cool. I like Francia's strong arm there. We're at Pulse at quadruple 0276, up 3.3% at 28% of the mean sacrifice price. So still super cheap. Grab it while you can. The train's about to leave. PulseX at the moment is at quadruple 0203, up 3% as well. The buy and burn is at 7.36%. So that is pretty awesome. And the incentive token there, $1.51, up 2.4%. And of course, Hex there at 5,900 of a penny, almost 0.6%, is up 6.8%. EHEX is back up quite strongly today, actually, at 1,900 of a penny, still super cheap. So you can pick up tons of EHEX at the moment while you can. There we go. That is the market. So we're only slightly green, but we'll take that for the moment. We always move slightly delayed often as well. So from the rest of the market. So keep a lookout over the next 24 hours. Gas prices. We're at 1.125 million beats, so we're at 1 cent for a PulseX swap. Pretty cool. Not as cheap as yesterday, but still pretty good. Validators, 52,000. Pretty much we've been like this for 5 days now, at around 52,000, if I remember rightly. And then the bridge, of course, which we've been following very closely, is up nicely. Look at that, 86 and a quarter million is where we are. So that's a real nice. And as you guys know, I have a snapshot from a week ago, the 3rd of July. We're now on the 10th of July, Kiwi time. And of course, that we were at 81.6 million. So we're up. We're really nice from that. We're up 4.6 over $4.6 million in a week. So that's good news because we've had a lot of trouble with the old whales and the Iran thing and all that sort of stuff over the last month. So kind of cool. Let's have a look. But Ethereum has flipped a DAI. Ethereum has flipped DAI over the last week. So DAI was pushed down. So DAI originally was 17.6 million. DAI is now 17.5 million. So we're down about $136,000 on DAI. ETH was 6,745, but we're now at 7,055. So we're up about 300 ETH, which is good news. And of course, the price of ETH has gone up as well. So ETH value a week ago was 17.3 million. It's now 19.5 million. So we're up 2.2 million on Ethereum. So that's good news. USDC was 14.25 million. USDC is 14.5 million right now. So we're up almost 300,000 on USDC. Pretty cool over last week. EHEX was 8.7 million. We're now at so let me do the dollar value for EHEX. Actually, we're at 14.2 million. We're now at 16.25 million. So we're up over $2 million on EHEX. So that's good news. Coast is up 200K. USD Tether is up about 80K on that. And Bitcoin is actually down slightly because of volume. We've lost a bit of volume. So we're down about, $30,000 on Bitcoin. But, maybe Bitcoin comes back. And maybe a Bitcoin whale. Does anyone know a Bitcoin whale from 2011? Maybe that person decides to bring over a couple of, tens of thousands of Bitcoin. Maybe even a couple 100,000. I don't know. Maybe not bring it over, but, Thor's hammer. Maybe we get a bit of that bridging over, or at least collateralizing in some way, locking and loading, and then let's get some game on there. So that is PulseChain. Let's have a look at the bridge. So that's the bridge values, and of course they move dynamically. But we've got the bridge data exclusive to the Kryptonite show, and of course this is updated for an hour ago. So I haven't got the last hour in there, but we are still fighting the good fight. And we're currently down 3.3 million negative over the last month. So this is from the 9th of June to the 9th of July. And so it's a whole month, basically. These are timestamp values, so they don't move around with the market. So whatever the price was in the hour that it came in or left, that is the price that we're leading here. But it gives us a good general direction of what's been happening. And we were all the way down at negative 4.7 million, for goodness sake. And all the stuff in the middle here, was all the Iranian scare. And of course, we had the big whales. We have had the big whales selling, particularly the big PulseX whale. And now, of course, the PulseX whale moved on to selling some of their HEX as well, right? Yesterday, I think it was. So that impacted the HEX chart yesterday. We saw that dip. It seemed pretty, disconnected from the Pulse and PulseX. And so here we are at the moment, negative 3.3. So we're looking for the big trend reversal. This is a key indicator for PulseChain. Obviously, money flows onto the chain are very important. Obviously, we look back, we've still got a lot of stable coins and stuff like that. And of course, they can push up PulseChain markets quite easily on thin liquidity. But really, we're also looking for the over-the-top amount, right? What is happening to the overall direction and amount that's coming on. So we've still got a bit of work to do, but we know that just like money can leave the chain, money can come onto the chain pretty quickly once we start getting green candles from existing stable coins pushing up prices on the old PulseChain. So that is where we're at the moment. So kind of cool. That leads us on to PulseChain. We've got 19 million in volume, so we're up a little bit from yesterday. And of course, the top performers, we've got about 350,000 transactions on the old chain. And of course, here we are with HEX. Now, got to remember, these volumes and stuff don't include the PH Universe protocols, right? Which there's 4 of those. One of them is a GMX fork, right? Aave fork and all that. Balancer fork and Aave fork. So just remember that. So we got those don't really get included on here. That's a bit of a shame, but this is the way it goes. We got Hex at the moment. Let's have a look at the top performers. We got RhinoFi. So RhinoFi just launched actually, and this is something that Crypto Paradise team have been supporting. So that's kind of cool. And we can see this just launched. So it's kind of cool. We're going to quickly look at the tokenomics here. So congratulations to the RhinoFi team. I'll post the link to this in the chat there. And that is just launched on the old PulseChain. This is something Crypto Paradise and Nick Hellman and the rest of the team have been, partnering with, I guess, in a sort of a promotion. I'm not exactly sure how they set that up. They do a lot of pre-sales, so I'm not sure how this has worked with this one, but that is RhinoFi, just launched on PulseChain only about an hour and a half ago, something like that. So it's pretty hot off the press there. So let's have a look at that. Is the contract. That's the website, Telegram chart, etc. And they are out there as well. So not bad stuff happening there from the old Rhino. And that's just launched as well. So we might repost that. Let's repost that, eh? And bam, that is Rhino. And of course, we're sitting at 00085 at the moment. 00085 on the price there. So it had a big launch. What did it open up at? 00041. And now it got as high as 14 cents, so a nice little gain there, pretty awesome gain. And then of course that's just tapered off a little bit there at 00085 at the moment. So it's only been around for the last hour. Well, it says a day. The peer's been around for a day and 17, but it's only launched in the last hour or so as an official launch. So that is pretty cool. Actually, it says it's been around for a couple hours. Let me have a look at that. Let's lose that post. Anyway, it says it's been around since 4 o'clock. But it's only really just launched the last hour from based on that post. So there we go. That is the mix there, and 00085. Let's have a look at the website. Oh, we don't have the website up there, and I just lost the website. Oh no, where did the website go? I'm gonna have to take my own post out of there. Let me have a look at where I'll go. RhinoFi. That's what happens when you prematurely cut something off there. RhinoFi. Let's have a pick that up again. And let's go RhinoFi. There we go. All right, so I'm going to pick that up. And so actually, where's the enter dashboard? Because it's the one. Yeah, so you can do a number of things here. Obviously, they have rewards that you can get. You can manage LP as well. They have these charge cycles as also. So you can do all that sort of stuff. Let's see here. Enter dashboard by Rhino tokenomics. Yeah, this is the one I was trying to look at. So tokenomics there. Let me just jump back here. Okay, so they have a 3% reward pool. So so there is tax on it, 6% tax. Presumably on the buy and sell. 2.25% token holders and 0.75% for liquidity providers. They have 2.1% buy and burn. So they got Rhino, SolidX, and Gelato. Interesting SolidX in there. I guess they're paired up with that. And then Rhino Pulse, they got 0.9% liquidity add out of that taxes. So that is the playbook there, and you can check that all out on the post that I sent, I guess. Do your due diligence. We're just doing a quick coverage of that, but congratulations to the Rhino team. Kind of cool. All right, so let's jump over to that, and that is the top performer at the moment, up almost 2,000%. Pepe there. Pepe is, what's it, 0003 is Pepe, and that will be a pump tires, no doubt, and that's up 31%. We've got UFO from the PDC The Grays team, up 28% as well. We've got Die Hard there on the back of PDI is up 24%. We've got G Baby on the back of, I guess, James Maria Protocols. That is up $9 at 20% there. GoPulse is that sitting at 12 cents at the moment, up 18.4%. So that's actually done, pretty reasonable. I mean, there's a lot of controversy around that, particularly around their swapping issues. They've got some pretty bad stories around swapping. Although a lot of swapping does work on low amounts. I guess once you do bigger amounts, there's a lot of problems there. So just note that. That's at least what I've seen out there. Cardano or ADA, they're at 14%. Another pump tires. So pump tires, doing pretty well the last couple of days, haven't they? We got Incognito up 12%. Gelato, obviously, getting a bit of benefit from this new RhinoFi launch. That's up 9% as well. PulseX, of course, up 7.25%. Trump tires, Trump there up 7%. This will probably do well on the narrative of Trump, of course, and his presidency. So just don't. Don't hold it, I guess, by the time he gets to the end of his presidency. That's probably the thing. Teddy Bear, obviously James Maria is up 7%. Most Wanted, pump tires as well. RH1, from the looks of it, up 7%. And, of course, what else? We got PGC The Grays up 7% as well. So we obviously got UFO on the move back up here. It was up here somewhere. Oh yeah, they're number 3. It was UFO, and we've got PDC not far further down, up 7% as well. So we've got BFF there, I guess, from OG Web Chef up 7%. What else have we got going on here? All the way down. We obviously got Hex in the mix there, just almost at 6 cents of a penny. And we got Sparta there. Sparta also on the back of Hex, right? So part of the tax buys Hex, puts in the treasury. Hopefully Hex will, rally, and then of course they can use it to buy and burn. I guess push the price up of Sparta is the idea there. Number 31 is 9mm, our second biggest DEX, right? Excluding the PH Universe one, which I keep talking about. I've got to pull up, but I keep forgetting. 1.6 cents at the moment, up 6%. X, which is tied in with the Crypto Paradise team as well. And the Crypto Paradise team are getting all out and about. They're everywhere, which is fantastic, right? You want teams that are really proactive. Making partnerships, and up 5.8%. We've got a couple other teams that are doing that quite nicely. Obviously, we've got Emmett doing a lot of cool partnerships. We've got Nexion growing with Radon. They're doing a lot more partnerships. We're probably going to check out some of that today as well. So there is a lot of cool, farms sort of doing more partnerships. It's kind of neat to see that, as well as some of these other projects. What else we got going? Let's scroll down all the way down. We've got ALGO here on the back of Hex. That is up as well. I accidentally pushed the wrong keyboard button there. Where do we go for ALGO? Where's ALGO gone? Let's pay all the way up here. I've lost my order because I must have really changed the wrong thing here. What the heck? All right, we've got malfunctions. Malfunctions going on here. Let's scroll back down. We're going through the top 100, as we often do, or do every day. We got UpX on the back of Pulse. So this is part of Haunted Strategy. And of course, they did Validator X and all that sort of stuff. You can check out their website. We haven't really done much on them either, have we? So I need to do more on that stuff. Noted. This is. We got Top Hat from Crypto Coffee. Another pump tires up 4% there from the looks of it. You're a mum up 4%. And of course, we got Moon King and Ian Heinisch and all that backing that one, haven't we, with the big burn, I think it was. We've got Liquid Loans. Now, Liquid Loans have really start ramping up again. Have you noticed that? Talking about other protocols. We had Crypto Crazy, the CEO, on a YouTube video. They're doing, they're trying to reach non-PulseChain people with their promotions. So that's up 3.8%. X Game, of course, we're looking forward to that. Bring it on, baby. Bring it on. And of course, X Game there from Firewhale, one of our 2 big public whales. Currently at $8.74, slowly climbing. And of course, X Game there at 3.5% at 0.2 of a penny. We're expecting these both to rally big time. And of course, they are, pre-rally. They're pre-rally. And of course, once we get this news, it's got to be pretty close. Then we're looking forward to that. Could be one of the killer apps, right? X Game. And that's the holy grail. We're looking for a killer app on PulseChain, Pulse Gains. And of course, excited about where that will go. So yeah, we got this green one is the pump tires version, right? So there's 3 pump tires, and then there's the yellow one, which is the OG one. This is the one that's going to be the buy and burn. So that's the one you want to get for the long-term kind of investment. This is one of my Magnificent 7, just like the stock market has a Magnificent 7 with Tesla and NVIDIA and stuff like that. I have my Magnificent 7 with the Richard Hart 4 cores, as SolidX, Soul Sun Mini Meal, and the other one, the one that I was forgetting right now, brain freeze on that one. So that's yesterday I forgot the other one. Now I forget the other one. I don't know what is going on there. We got BFF down there. We got Doubt Token, another pump tires up 3%. We got DWB up 2.7. I refuse to say that name. DWB is up 2.7%. We got Pulse Puppy is up 2.6% as well at number 54. Gas stations, so we're now getting back into the OG Web Chef stuff. 58 up 2.3% there. We've got Fitzgerald, been around for 4 months, up 2.3% as well. Reserve Tay at number 60, up 2%, so not bad. Let's jump further down here. We've got BBC from 9-inch. This is up 2%. Let's have a quick look at that one, shall we? See how the incentive token is going there. We had a little bit of pump, but then we got a little bit of a dump there earlier. But let's have a look at good old BBC. How's that zigzagging along? Yes, just zigzagging at the bottom, really. So we'll see if this does something. We are expecting DEXs to re-rate, right, in price as the market really takes off. But we're not quite there yet, right, because PulseChain's still not quite out of the woods, but getting there. So, yep, that's BBC. What else there? Incentive token, $1.50. Pump tires sitting at number 68 today, up 2%. Let's see what else there. 9-inch. So we talked about BBC token. Now the 9-inch, the main one, which is our 3rd biggest DEX here on DEX Screener, is currently up 1.6%. Then we got Missile and Remember, more OG Web Chefs down here at 1.3%. Sun Minimal managing to make up a slightly bit move there. And we've got the big buy and burn coming back, right? So we've got the buy and burn coming back in. Let's look at the hourly and we can see the buy and burn. I'm pretty sure this one here, what's that, 11? Pretty sure it was one of these that had the buy and burn. Let's go cheat because I got to see that. Let's have a look. Now, buy and burn in here. Now, this is done manually, right? So, and any time that we get an account like this coming along that sells down, that always pulls back on that buy and burn impact, right? So 7.5K, buy and burn is typically about 11,000 at a time. Now, Sun Minimal, we had didn't have an update. We haven't had an update from Sun Minimal for 3 weeks. And of course, following the big world conference, but we had an update yesterday, and it was a little bit lacking. So they're obviously focused on production right now. So they're focused on production. They're still, I mean, if you think about it, they're still kind of early in their growth phase. So really, I think the next 6 months is still laying the foundation for the future. So we, just taper expectations a little bit. It is an investment. And of course, I think once they really lay that strong foundation, they are doubling their plant capacity right now. And as anybody that runs a business, particularly a large manufacturing food business, there can be a lot of issues getting that up and running smoothly. Now, apparently, the CEO did say that they had sold they basically sold their new production. So the new production going online, they pretty much sold the produce coming off that, which is pretty exciting. That's a very exciting element. So that was the positive part. They have got other announcements coming up. I think the Floyne market announcement is coming up in a few weeks. So they indicate a few weeks for that. So keep a lookout. Maybe 3 or 4 weeks from now, we see whether we get that SOAR listing on Floyne. Floyne is, I think, in the Netherlands, if I remember rightly, somewhere like that. And they have a professional client list, something like 11,000, 12,000. So there's a high value with investors. And presumably, if they get listed, that could be a big boom for SOAR. But anyway, don't front run that at the moment. That is kind of the general direction that we're expecting at the moment. So we'll keep a lookout for that. Anyway, we did see a buy and burn come in. So let me just have a look at the bank ramp now. This is the ramp now account, and we saw that come in 14 hours ago. So we hadn't had a buy and burn since, I think, Friday last week. You can see my arrows in here since this period here. And so that was the first one we had seen come in. And it's about 11,000 as usual. And that goes and burns it, right? So it burns it as well. It doesn't buy it, burns it. But of course, we have waiting for some of these big customer buys in addition. We don't just want the corporate buys at the moment, but he did indicate yesterday that they had several $1 million sitting there. And of course, with Floyne coming up, they may be doing an OTC desk on that. So that could be pretty exciting in case you have big people wanting to sell. But in any case, they also are going to be doing this buy and burn with all those millions, 20% of net sales, right? 20%. So keep a lookout for that. Just taper expectations, I guess, for the end of the year. And we'll just wait as they got news come out. We will talk about that. Possibly the next big news will be within the next month. Now, obviously around customers, they're still working on that, doing fine tuning, I guess, on the customer buys. So we'll just have to be patient and wait for them to deliver that. Obviously, food is their priority, and then the crypto is their second priority. So it just works in that order. But I'm sure we will see that come in the next month to 5 months, let's say. We're just going to be patient with that one. Just the usual play. 2 more weeks, as they say, 2 more weeks. So that is SOAR Sun Minimal. Let's jump out of there. Let's jump back out of there and go back to PulseChain. How are we doing for time? I'm just going to make sure I'm pacing the time right here. So that's Sun Minimal. What else have we got? Atropa, obviously, it's slightly up. Beast and Finvesta from OG Web Chef up slight, or just basically break even. And then everything else is pretty much out of the water. Even Teddy Bear, which had a nice little push yesterday, having just a little breather right now. But look at that. It was a really nice move on the old Teddy takeover. And you can see that just climbing up there. So that is up 82% in the last 11 days. So nice little bounce there. And then finally, we've got Time Dividend down here as well. We've got Surf Token from Crypto Paradise doing an amazing job there. Probably a really good buy right now is Surf. Once again, do your own due diligence. But Surf there definitely could, at the bottom of this move, and looks like it's consolidating. I'd probably put the RSI on and some moving averages just to see, but that is looking pretty good right now for a pickup. 200,000 surf tokens to get into the DAO and benefit from any of their bot trading and rewards that they have there. So check that out. They also have pre-sales and stuff like that. So big shout out to the Crypto Paradise team, 130,000 followers. So pretty big player on PulseChain. One of the top players, I would say. So that is pretty much that's going to lead us into, I guess, our next topic, which is going to be Bitcoin, which is the title of the video. And we're doing pretty good time because we're at 55. No, we're almost at 55, not quite. 55 on the time. And we've got a good crowd in at the moment, so big shout out there. We are streaming on 3 YouTube channels and on X, so big shout out. Don't forget to smash the follow button, hit the like. Now we're coming up to the main part here, exploring Bitcoin options. And of course, just buy one Bitcoin on PulseChain. We're going to talk about all of that right now because we're going to kick it off with Rack and Rochelle, one of our 2 big public whales, and of course a venture capitalist by day and a snorkeler by night. I don't know. I just made that up. But there we got him. And should we go full screen on this? What do you guys reckon? What do you guys reckon? Let's go full screen. Let's go full screen mode. Hopefully that works. Yeah, it works. All right. So recommendation, a PWrap Bitcoin. So we're going to be exploring all the different Bitcoin options on PulseChain. We did this a couple of weeks ago. We're going to have a look at even a more broader range. So we've got Wrap Bitcoin on PulseChain. If you're looking for a way to hold Bitcoin that's smarter and more versatile, Wrap Bitcoin on PulseChain, known as PWrap Bitcoin, might be it. Just buy one at a minimum. So there we go. We'll buy one at a minimum. Tuck it away and forget about it. Forget about it. Between friends, forget about it. I try to do my little Italian. Is it New York East Side? Is it East Side? Let me know if you're in America. Let me know. Might be it. Just buy one at a minimum, tuck it away, and forget about it. This is not like other coins. You don't need thousands or millions. Here's why. With a fixed supply capped at just 154,000 tokens, it's scarcer than Bitcoin itself. And of course, remember, Bitcoin's going to have 21 million Bitcoin, and there's only 19.8 million out at the moment. And some people say, 2 to 4 million has been lost forever. So, and there's a million sitting in Satoshi's wallet as well. So the rarity isn't just a number, it's a potential catalyst for explosive value growth as demand climbs. Built on PulseChain.com, a smart contract platform, PWrap Bitcoin goes beyond Bitcoin's limitations, letting you tap into DeFi opportunities like yield farming or liquidity provision to earn extra income, all while offering privacy tools like mixers and zero-knowledge proofs for this discretion Bitcoin's transparent ledger cannot match. Compare that to Wrap Bitcoin on Ethereum. And of course, we're going to talk about that in a minute, or Wrap Bitcoin. And of course, the difference sharpened, launched in 2019. Wrap Bitcoin mirrors Bitcoin's price through every twist from the 2020 crash to 2021 peak, but it's shackled into Ethereum's ecosystem. High gas fees and reliance on institutional custodials weigh it down, making it less agile. PWrap Bitcoin, that is the fork copy of Wrap Bitcoin from Ethereum on PulseChain, on the other hand, thrives on PulseChain's ultra-low fee network, unshackled from such burdens. You can trade or leverage it in DeFi without watching profits erode to transaction costs, a practical edge that is hard to ignore. At its core, PulseWrap Bitcoin fuses Bitcoin's enduring appeal with DeFi's dynamic flexibility, all while staying true to a decentralized spirit. It's not just a token, it is a rethink of what Bitcoin-like assets can be. Blending scarcity, utility, and independence into something fresh. If you are after an intelligent way to engage with crypto that offers both functionality and growth potential, PWrap Bitcoin or PulseWrap Bitcoin deserves a closer look. Think about it. Bitcoin is priced at 100,000 plus. Wrap Bitcoin is nearly identical with PWrap Bitcoin is still trading below $750. Buy one at a minimum. The market is not yet caught on yet, but when it does, the upside may be unlike anything we've seen before. If you value my perspective and just my judgment, I encourage you to consider adding it to your stack. And there we go. That is from Rack and Michelle. So that leads us into the topic of exploring Bitcoin options. So we're going to we'll talk about that. So what do we see here? We've got a number of options on PulseChain, and one of them is on Ethereum. So we're going to go through one by one. So obviously we've gone through, the actual Bitcoin, which is on Bitcoin blockchain, currently worth about $111,000, $112,000. So can you get some potential that might do a re-rate over the bull cycle ahead? Well, the first one we're going to look, of course, is at the one that Rack and Michelle was talking about, which is the forked one on PulseChain, and that is Wrap Bitcoin, right? So that's currently at $701 right now. And of course, let's have a look at it over the longer period of time. Let's go to the weekly candles. and have a look at that. We're going to go full mode on that. This is the lichens. Now, we used to have, back in the old days, used to have a bit of yield farming as well on PulseX. Now, of course, we've had this big rally here. Also seems to be tied correlated fairly well with PDI and other moves, but it has really rallied quite nicely off the top here. Now, the all-time high recently was, of course, $2,674. $2,674. It was back on the 25th of November. It has recently come off a local low of $111, and it has been pretty consistent down to that level. The low, of course, has been down at $25. Take note of that. Way back at near the beginning, back in August 2023. But really, it has risen quite nicely on weekly candles here. Let's have a look at the move. And let's have a look at that. So that is up 500%. So you would have got a 6x in that inside 84 days pretty much. And that is now at $700. Could it go even higher? Even getting back to its recent high, it could do some pretty nice things. So let's have a look at that. That would be a nice 283% rise from here. So 3.8x in 20. Let's see what that does there. Now, it may continue to re-rate. How much more is it going to get to Bitcoin, price moving forward, right? So having a look at that, it's a massive rise to get back to Bitcoin, even to where Bitcoin is. So, to get to Bitcoin, you'd have to go all the way up here. I think the ruler works, but we'll give it a try. It's not working on that, but it's a massive upside, right? So it could be pretty huge. Let me get the calculator up, do it manually. So we got 111, let's say 111,000, and we divide that by what would we say, $700? $700. So that's potential 158x on there at the moment. So if you put in $100, let's say you put in $700, that's 158x, right? Times that. So that would give you 111,000. That's pretty easy math. It's much easier to just do that. So yeah, 111,000. That'd be pretty crazy. Now, even if it does a fraction of that, 10%, 20%, be pretty crazy. And imagine if someone with a lot of Bitcoin came along and created some mechanism to back wrap Bitcoin with Bitcoin. That'd be pretty crazy too, right? So that is wrap Bitcoin at the moment. So that is kind of cool. I'll post the link to this chart if you want to check it out. Do your due diligence as always. But that is what is that? Wrap Bitcoin. And we're gonna bam. Let's check that out. That's our specialty topic today. Wrap Bitcoin, so check that one out. And of course, what else we got? We got going to have a look at the other charts. We've got different Bitcoin options. We got obviously wrap Bitcoin from Ethereum. So this is actually the custodial stuff that Rack and Michelle was talking about. So we got that over here as well. So you can actually buy wrap Bitcoin. This is based on obviously on Ethereum. You can see it here. So let's go to the contract here. This is on Ethereum on Etherscan, and you actually can see. You can actually see that. Let me get rid of this big post here, but you can see there's 128,850 wrap Bitcoin over here. So this is custodial, right? So it's actually backed by Bitcoin from the Bitcoin blockchain. So there's only 128,000. Now this is the one that was forked over on PulseChain on the 10th of May 2023, and of course launched on the 13th of May 2023. Almost 800 days ago. 790 days ago, and so this is the one we're talking about, and of course this gets bridged over through the official PulseChain bridge over to PulseChain, and of course we talked about that earlier in the bridge update, and you can see it's pretty much around the Bitcoin price of 111,000, 110.70. So you can buy Bitcoin on PulseChain as well. So it's kind of cool because it's bridged in from Ethereum there, and that's where it's come from. Now there is more, right? There's more over here. So you can check it out on the contract itself, but that is the second one that you can potentially check out. So that is, let's call it wrap Bitcoin, shall we? And I'll post that. So that is the second one. So these are exploring the options of Bitcoin on PulseChain, PulseChains. So that's wrap Bitcoin. Now they're all going to have obviously relatively, right? The wrap Bitcoin has potential to do 158x potential. This one here, of course, is just going to match Bitcoin, but it's one easy way of tracking that Bitcoin if you wanted to get it and keep on PulseChain. Then of course we got the Pump Tires Bitcoin, right? Pump Tires Bitcoin, it's out there too, and this has been around for how long? 5 months and 7 days. And of course, was this one of the? I think people are talking about there was 14 original coins by Richard Hart or something, or from the Genesis pump, and it's possibly one of those. And of course, this is at 0002. up at the moment, and come off the bottom of 00013. And of course, not a lot of volume going through, relatively speaking. Well, actually, there's it's $7,000, let's say, $27,000 in the week. So this can all turn around pretty quickly. We see a little bit of a pump today on everything else is pumping in Bitcoin. So this may do quite well with the old pump tires. Remember, there's only 1 billion tokens in this. I'm not sure how much is in the main wallet. Shall we go check? Let's go check that, actually. Let's go, maybe Midgard would be good enough for that. Let's have a look, Midgard, and hopefully that's updated on the block numbers. But let's have a look at the old pump tires Bitcoin. Yeah, only 1 billion. And let's have a look at the holder account. So the holders there, it's pretty diverse here, actually. So no major holder. I mean, there's 8% in some of these top wallets, but that is pump tires at the moment, all the way there. So the top 20, 1% held by that. So that is interesting at distribution. So that might do some interesting stuff. We shall see in the future on that. Yeah. And 89% of the Bitcoin is held by the non-top 10, I guess. So that is the play. All right, that is the wrap Bitcoin there. That's the pump tires Bitcoin. So I'm going to post that link in the chat there as well. So pump BTC. Now, I don't know who launched it. I presumably that was a Richard Hart one as well. But it seems odd that normally, because you can own up to 82% of the tokens when you launch it, when you pre-launch it on pump tires, and then it gets if it makes king of the hill, then it crosses over the PulseChain. So that is the one there. Pump tires BTC. Going to be interesting to see that. Now, obviously, we've got Pulse Bitcoin. Now, Pulse Bitcoin's been around for 2 years or something. Of course, this is led by a pretty big crew of PulseChain and Xkins. And of course, Fat Sammy is kind of leading this group along with a couple of other people. There's a bit of a Pulse Bitcoin council, and of course, they are pushing this protocol higher. Right, this is the version on PulseChain. And this is currently at 5.6% today. Had some nice little candles come in, for 2,000. What's that one there? 6,400. There's on the daily charts here at the moment, so it's not bad. And this is getting a bit more love today. So yeah, keep a lookout for that. A bit more volume coming in recently, and it's up at 1.5 cents at the moment. Liquidity 9,500. Volume pretty low today though, but has been quite some good volume candles the last couple of days. And the market cap only 271K, for goodness sake. I mean, OMG. So we'll keep a lookout for that. So that is still, relatively. Let's have a look at the weekly candle here on the old Pulse Bitcoin. And you can see the chart there. It's really come off that bottom quite nicely. It was down at 4,600 a penny. Let's have a quick look at that. Now, this is all based on the whole theme of Pulse Bitcoin back in the day was based on Bitcoin mining. So there's only 21 million, going to be 21 million supply. It has Bitcoin halvings. There's another token, of course, that goes with this, which is ASIC token. Just like you have ASIC hard miners, this is the same idea here. You have the ASIC token is mining you Pulse Bitcoin. And of course, you go to the website, you can do all that. So that is sitting at 1,500 a penny at the moment on the old Pulse Bitcoin on PulseChain. I'll post a link to that as well. It's a PLSB, and this is PulseChain, so better do PulseChain on Pulse PLS, and I'll do a little tap there. So it is Pulse Bitcoin on PulseChain, and then we also obviously got the same token over on Ethereum, so we're going to check that out as well. So if you are on Ethereum, you'll be able to access Pulse Bitcoin over there with the same miner. So it's basically the same idea, but you're mining without, and real Bitcoin, you have to have like actual physical ASIC miners. They're not cheap, and you have to update them like every sort of 18 months or something because the technology gets out of date. It takes a lot of power. There's no more back in the day like Richard Hart mining on Bitcoin on the PC. You have to have these powerful computers now. And of course, with Pulse Bitcoin, the whole idea is to just have it all digital. And that's why there's another token called ASIC token, which does the mining for you. But here we are at Pulse Bitcoin price there. Let's have a look at the other one as well. So we're going to have a look at actually Pulse Bitcoin. Actually, before I get into that, is actually on just got on Nexium Farm. So Nexium, of course, is one of these new farms on PulseChain. It's been around for a little while, but it's actually really going to be a much bigger ecosystem than just a farm as well. But we can see actually that Rage and Pulse Bitcoin have done a partnership here, and we can actually see the APR there, 4,257%. So if you're after some nice APR, that is it. Just take note, the fees, there's a 4% entry fee and a 9% exit fee out of that. So just take note of that. So you would have to stay in there for a little while to get the to earn some of those nice yields, but pretty attractive. There's TVL's only $1,300 at the moment, so you're getting in still quite early there, and it is a reward pool. So it's got 49 days and 16 hours to go. So that is over on Nexium. So you can check that out, and you can basically, if you provide liquidity in Rage and Pulse Bitcoin, you get LP tokens, and then you've got to do that on, I think, on PulseX. They do have a zapper there, so you could probably just zap it. If you got Pulse recharge there, I think it recharges it. Anyway, you can then stake your LP tokens in here and start earning some of that yield. So just make sure do due diligence, but that is there. Rage and Pulse Bitcoin done a little partnership. Nice. I'll post a link to that in the chat if you want to check that out, and I'd definitely go talk to the teams. So that is Pulse Bitcoin on Pulse. Bam, that is Nexium. Big shout out to Psycho out there doing a great job. We're expecting 10x leverage product coming up soon with Glow. You guys know I've covered Glow before. It's not yet launched, but that will be here. And then, of course, we're looking at NFT staking as well coming from Nexium. So Nexium is going to be really doing some of the best frontier DeFi on PulseChain. So keep a look out for that. And at the moment, it's really dominated by Radon and Greed and a few other protocols that are really dominating all the LP pools here. Really just one of these early players moving up. So very, very exciting. All right, so that is that. Let me jump over to the Ethereum side just to wrap up our Bitcoin opportunities or options on PulseChain. And here it is on Ethereum, looking pretty different. So yeah, we had what do we have? 1.5 cents over on PulseChain, but here on Ethereum, Pulse Bitcoin, which is also on that chain, is up at 6.4 cents. And of course, I guess the Pulse Bitcoin Council is spending a lot more time focused on this, right? So pretty exciting. Hopefully if moderators can moderate the chat, that'd be great. Feel free to moderate the chat there, moderators, if you're out there. So kind of cool. All right, so that is the product there at 6.4 cents at the moment. So that is ticking away pretty nice. Let's have a look at this one. So what's happening with my indicators? Just my ruler there. Is that ruler working? Oh, there it is working here. So that is actually up 1,365% in 70 days. So that's a 14.6x return in 14 days. That's pretty amazing. And so that definitely the Pulse Bitcoin Council are doing a good job there. And of course, they've got lock liquidity about what does it look like? About 30% lock liquidity in there at the moment, 51k, 30% locked, and the price is up 21% today. Nice. Now it did have a bit of a sell-off last week, but it's going back up today. So RSI on the weekly sitting at 63. Looking on the daily, RSI is pretty chill. Had that sell-off just the last couple of days, and then the last 3-4 days ago, and then the last 2 days has been on the back on the rise there. Bouncing from just under half a cent, just under 5 cents, and the RSI they're picking up 47. So got a nice little room there. Looking on the 4 hourly, it's got plenty of room to move still. Had nice little volume candles today, but still sitting on at 52. So that's looking pretty good. And that is another opportunity to get into a Bitcoin concept with the ASIC miner tokens as well. In fact, I'll post the link to this in the chat there. That chart there is obviously getting good support there from the Pulse Bitcoin Council. So let me post that. I don't know if we've got moderators in the chat at the moment. We've got moderators. That is the link there. So give that a look. Check that out. We've got Shin House there, Pulse Bitcoin. It's definitely, that chart's pretty friendly. I mean, it's a pretty amazing return in that 70 days. Let's see what else. I'm just having a look through the comments. So if there's a Vic Foundation one there, so if you guys can delete that, if any mods are in the chat there, it'd be really great. I can't see it myself on the list, but if you guys can check that, I'm not sure what channel that's on. Might be on one of the on the Superman Crypto or something. Get out there. What else? So looking pretty good on the chart there. That's another option that people can do. So that is, as I said, that is Pulse Bitcoin on Ethereum. Now let's have a look at some of the other players here. Let me just jump over here. So that's pretty much everything. I think we've gone through all that. So those are the options that you have on PulseChain to either participate in Bitcoin itself, a Bitcoin fork like Wrap Bitcoin. You can do that, and of course that may have potentially 158x upside potentially. I mean, even if it does 10%, 20% of that could be pretty huge. And then of course also you've got other Bitcoin models trying to do Bitcoin better by doing it without hard miners, physical miners, doing it digitally like Pulse Bitcoin. So quite a few options there over on PulseChain, and of course those people are checking it out. Let's see here. Fat Sam says can't delete as he is a moderator. Is he? He's not a moderator, so I'm not sure who that is in there. He's obviously got some powers there. Let me see what I can do here. Can't ban a chat owner or moderator. So I'm not sure how they. Let me block the user. Let me see if I block the user and see if that works. Yeah, I'll have to deal with that later, I guess. This just shows you how easy it is to override YouTube. All right, so kind of cool. All right, so cool. This is Vets. It's Vets. Well, stop spamming my chat. Stop spamming my chat, Vets. Puffers. All right, so all right. Yep. And stop spamming referrals in my chat. All right. All right. Let's see here. Let me jump over to let me jump over the show. Let me jump over the show there. So that is pretty much it. We're up to an hour and 16, so we're pretty much done the show. So those are some pretty cool Bitcoin options. And of course, we've also, in the past, we've looked at PDI options as well. There's a number of PDI options out there. There's like, 4 options are there? I think it's 4. So yeah, let me jump over here. What is going on here? What is going on? Let me jump in there. I can hear myself now. Hear myself. Bam. Let's delete that. Remove. All right. I'm going to delete that as well. Remove. I'm going to remove that as well. Shilling my chat. Come on, Vets. I mean, you know better than that. What else there? All right, so that's kind of cool. So that is where we are on that one. So yeah, Fat Sam says, let's hope BTC and ETH mounts up tomorrow. Yeah, absolutely on that. Absolutely. All right, cool. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Now in 17 minutes, I will catch you guys all again tomorrow. And yeah, maybe we'll be talking about Solid X tomorrow with all the news. So maybe we'll talk about that. Let's have a quick look. Maybe we can actually find it now while we're here. Let me just go search for it. And bam. Let's see here. So Solid X is probably going to moon right now, right? So let's have a look there. Let's see that on the house. So let's see on the official link. So let me just have a look on Solid X itself. I'm not sure if I've got Xgame on this browser, so we'll have to double check. Xgame. Was it Solid? Was it Solid X? Solid. Solid Hex. Let's have a look at that one. Don't see it on there either. I need to pull it up. We might talk about it tomorrow. Fat Sammy says, great. Thanks. Great show. I appreciate it, Fat Sammy. Big shout out. Keep up the great work on your team. Looks like you guys are doing some good stuff. We've got Brennan in the house there. Golden Cross coming for ETH. Yeah, it's looking pretty good too. Yeah, I don't see anything up on that. So great coverage. Shin's in the house there. Great coverage. I appreciate that, Shin. Thanks very much. We've got Vets in there. Vic Foundation. What do you expect? I didn't even know who it was. Sharing Solid X information, brother. Affiliate program just launched. That's all. That's all right. Cool. No, I appreciate that, but no heads up on the spam. We got an old name change. What do you expect? All right. So that is that. All right, we're going to end the show. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Catch me tomorrow, and we'll probably talk about Solid X tomorrow once I confirm everything's up and running. All right, take care. Enjoy the rest of the day, And I'll see you guys either in Telegram, join up today, the link's in the video description. Discord, join up to that too, the link's in the video description. If you want to join Strategy Club, the link's in the description. And of course, only $35 a month, great value, join up today. And we'll see you in Discord as well. On that note, take care, everybody. And let's play out Raoul Paul, shall we? Should we play out Raoul Paul? Because it's my favorite video. And of course, does some pretty good stuff. So peace out, everybody. Bye.
Not a mystery. It is a repeat of the debt cycle. They are rolling the debts. They are doing the same thing. Each cycle is not to do with a halving cycle, nothing to do with any of that. It's all driven by liquidity cycle and funding of debts. Each phase, we get phase 1 of the banana zone, banana number 1. The corrective zone, banana number 2 comes. Another correction, banana number 3. So this is the banana zone. So that's what happened in 2020, 2021. Off we go. Sorry, that was 2017, which again looks very similar to this one. That was the last one. Here we are now. It can't be clearer to me. I've shown you the macro evidence, the technical evidence, the sentiment evidence. Everything here suggests to me that hold on to your hats. Don't fuck this up. Don't lose control of your tokens. Don't use leverage. Don't get your wallet hacked. Just sit with it. Be careful. Don't get FOMO. Do all of the right things, and we'll go up to the next phase of correction zone. That's going to be harder, because the next one that happens will have a 35% drop, and you'll all say, is it over? And you'll definitely be sure it's over, and everybody on Twitter will tell you it's over, and it won't be over. By our work, we suggest that because of the elongation of the business cycle, because rates were higher for longer, the forward-looking liquidity suggests that, again, probabilistically speaking, without any guarantees, this whole thing goes into Q1, maybe Q2 of 2026, which would align with Trump's, trying to win the midterms as well. So everything's lined up for us. I think it started. So keep the faith, keep building stuff, and let's keep driving Siri forward with all of this. Thank you.